Well, I feel like I come on here every single week and say, this documentary was really good. This documentary was good. This documentary was great. All that stuff. Tonight's documentary with the Road Warriors could have been one of my favorite documentaries in season 2 of Dark Side of the Ring. This was probably in my top 3, along with Chris Benoit, New Jack, and Jimmy Snooker. This could be in my top 3. Everything about this was awesome. I loved it. I love these documentaries, man. It really upsets me that next week is the season finale. But they're going out on a bang, man. They're going out on a bang with Owen Hart next week. I cannot wait for that Owen Hart Dark Side of the Ring documentary. But tonight we got the Road Warriors documentary, the downward spiral of Hawk and his drug problems. And we'll talk about all of that. I took lots of notes tonight during this thing, so let's dive right into it, man. I really had a blast watching Dark Side of the Ring tonight. Road Warriors, first off, one of the greatest tag teams of all time. And I said that they had some really great tag teams back then. And imagine a matchup like the Road Warriors versus the War Raiders from 2000, last year's War Raiders from NXT. Could you imagine a match like that? That would be a classic. And because of that tweet, I said I got a like from Animal of the Road Warriors. That was absolutely awesome. That made my night. To get a like from a legend like Animal, that made my night, man. But from the top, Road Warriors had a great look. They really did have a great look with the shoulder pads and the makeup. Paul Ellering was their manager of them for 20 years. In my opinion, Paul Ellering is one of the best managers of all time of pro wrestling. He doesn't get the credit he deserves. The work he did with the Road Warriors and the AOP in NXT, he doesn't get the credit that he deserves, I think, in my opinion. They had one of the most popular finishers back there, which was the Doomsday. It'd be an electric chair position where one of the guys were on the shoulders and clothesline them. Animal grew up in the northeast of Minneapolis. Northeast Minneapolis was a training ground for Animal. I think it was Animal or Hawk. I'm not sure which one it was, but then they were at bars. Hawk was at bars, and there was wet T-shirt contests at the Minneapolis bar where the guys would get drunk and all that stuff, wet T-shirts, and just slip and sliding and all that stuff. You know, it looked cool, but like at the same time, the guys were getting drunk, and that wasn't the best. The bottles were open too, and all that stuff. Animal would literally throw people out of bars, like throw people out of the bars if they were assholes. So, if you like cursed at him or something like that, I guess you got thrown out of the bar. Where am I here? Road Warriors first wrestled in Georgia Championship Wrestling in the 1980s. I remember listening to Busted Open. I think this was a time last year, and Dave LaGreca said that was the first wrestling he watched was from Georgia Championship Wrestling. So I had to bring that out there. Shout out. I'm pretty sure they're not watching this, but shout out to Mr. Dave LaGreca and Bully Ray and the crew at Busted Open. I really like what they're doing. Ellering would give them maneuver strategies in the matches. This looked really, really good. To have a manager like Paul Ellering say, okay, you're going to Irish whip your opponent to the turnbuckle. Hawk is going to tag in. Hawk is going to give him a clothesline and give him a leg drop or something like that. In my opinion, we need more managers like that who's going to bring in a game strategy to tell the wrestlers what to do in a match and have like a full page of notes of what to do throughout a match. That is what a great manager is, in my opinion. And we need more of that in 2020. We need more Paul Ellerings in 2020. That's what I'm trying to say. This was shocking. Hawk and Animal were asked to shave their heads. Hawk was asked to shave his head for a mohawk, and Animal was asked for a straight shave down the middle, hair on the sides, for a double mohawk. Could you imagine if somebody asked me to shave my head down the middle to have a double mohawk? I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it for $1,000. I will never shave my head and I never get a mohawk in my life. Animal came up with the shoulder pads idea to define who the Road Warriors are. Georgia Championship Wrestling was broadcasted in Atlanta's TBS channel back in 1980, I believe it was. Road Warriors main evented most of the nights at Georgia Championship Wrestling. These guys were super over, and I'm not shocked whatsoever. I've seen old matches of them before, and the crowd loves the Road Warriors. They either heel or babyface. They're great. They're great. They wrestled in Japan. They were not like the Japanese wrestlers, and then Hawk went drinking with the Japanese mafia while Animal was getting rest and working out in the gym. So this whole thing was basically about Hawk's drug overdose problems and his drinking problems, and it really brought them down in like wrestling and all that stuff, and not popularity, but like where their standing was in their wrestling business. Hawk, I found this to be very interesting because I actually watched this show, I think, a few weeks ago. Hawk wrestled with a broken leg in a Scaffield match against the Midnight Express, and that happened at Starrcade 3 in 1986. I watched it 3 weeks ago. I was watching it with my dad, and the main event was Nikita Koloff versus Ric Flair for the NWA World Championship. I don't know, I think it was like 3 weeks ago. I remember sitting down with my dad, having a cold beverage, watching Starrcade 3, and watching this match. And the match wasn't that good or anything, but me and him had a great time watching that pay-per-view, or watching that show, which is available on the WWE Network for you guys to go check out. So I would highly recommend you go check out a few Starrcades on the network. Hawk was starting to have problems outside of wrestling. It got really bad when they were in the WWF. Vince wanted the Road Warriors to change their names because they had the Ultimate Warrior and another Warrior, so they couldn't have all these Warriors. So they went with the Legion of Doom as their tag team name. And then Vince McMahon took their finisher away, which made me pissed off. Seriously, that Doomsday was their finisher for years. Now you're trying to take it away from them? Come on, Vince. Come on, man. Hawk was not shy about his drug and drinking problems. I found that to be shocking too, because when you want to hide your drinking problems or something like that, unless you're really outspoken and you don't care who you say it to, as long as they're there to help you. If I would tell someone only if they were there to help me, but I don't drink yet. I don't drink. Road Warriors. This is very upsetting. This was one of the most upsetting parts of the entire documentary. Road Warriors uh, was supposed to be the semi-main event at WrestleMania at Wembley Stadium in London, England. Hawk was not in shape and was drunk during the match. You could tell he was drunk during the match. They went from semi-main event for the tag team titles to second match against some dude I don't know. How sad is that, man? I felt bad for Animal in that situation. I felt really bad for him. Going from semi-main event of WrestleMania to the second match. That has to be depressing as hell. So then Hawk quit after WrestleMania in London. Animal wasn't going to chase for his partner, and he was very pissed off. Hawk went on his own in Japan to wrestle, and he stole the Road Warriors gimmick. So that made Animal really, really pissed off. He was like, F you, Animal. I'm going to Japan. I'm getting a new partner, and I'm keeping the Road Warriors gimmick, and you can't do anything about it. That's what he was basically like. His partner's name was Power Warrior. Hawk would be rushing to the emergency room with drug overdose. He went to the doctor, and the doctor told him that he could do what he wants because he's fine. So Hawk thought he can go right back to drinking and doing drug overdoses. Road Warriors came back to WWF in 1997 with ex-Denver Bronco Darian Drozdov or something like that. I can't pronounce his name, I'm sorry. Vince McMahon told Hawk to act drunk on TV. I did not like this at all. I don't like when they bring real life situations into television whatsoever. I don't like that about Vince McMahon, and he loves doing it. He's done it for years now, and that needs to stop. Their personal life is with their personal life stuff. Leave it out. Leave it out. So Vince wanted Hawk to act drunk on TV. He had him standing on top of a Titantron drunk and acting like he was going to fall off the Titantron. The drunk angle was very uncomfortable with both guys and the fans. Yeah, I'd be very uncomfortable to be watching that on television too. Hawk had a stroke backstage and went to the hospital. Hawk passed away at the age of 46 on October 19th, 2003. And then Animal got a phone call about Hawk's death. That's sad. And then Paul Ellering was told about it. And he told his wife that they're going to drive 55 miles to Tampa for the funeral. And they're going to drive in the black van that he drove the Road Warriors all the way from LA to Tampa. Paul Ellering is a class act, ladies and gentlemen. That is a man of class. Very sad moments in this documentary overall. And overall, though, I had a blast watching this tonight. I always have a blast watching Dark Side of the Ring documentaries, and this was a great documentary tonight. And if you guys did not watch this documentary, I would advise you to take an hour out of your day. Take 1 hour out of your day and go watch this documentary. And you'll have the same reaction as me. I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys for watching this Dark Side of the Ring recap. If subscribe right here on the Big Five Fuel channel. Comment down below what you thought of this documentary. If you liked this documentary tonight, leave a thumbs up with a super kick. Follow me on Twitter at Conlin_Joseph. Follow me on Instagram at Conlin_Joseph. Follow Eddie on Twitter at Eddie Mullins515. Guys, I'm getting out of here. I'm going to go get some rest. And I'll be back tomorrow night for your AEW Dynamite review right here on the Big Five Fuel channel. It's looking like a damn good show tomorrow night, and I'm really excited. Have a good night. Stay safe.